Senator Duckworth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to follow along on my colleague's chain of questioning. General Smith, I share her concerns and the concerns of the other members of this committee about the mobilization of the 700 Marines in response to the protests in Los Angeles. I am a Marine Corps family. My father, who lies at rest in Arlington, served in the United States Marine, only for a few years. He was an Army officer for the rest of the time, but that man was a Marine until the day he died.
Once a Marine, always a Marine, Senator.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Now, even if this is technically legal, what the President is doing, under an expansive interpretation of Article 2 authorities, I believe it is incredibly unwise. I don't condone violence or property destruction, but using active duty Marines for domestic protest response sets a dangerous precedent. When citizens around the country, not just in California, see Marines on the streets of America, it risks damaging their trust and politicizing a force that must remain apolitical and mission-focused. President Trump is asking Marines to be away from their families for a situation that the President himself said yesterday was, and I quote, this is what he said yesterday, simmering but not very much, end quote. Do you, General, have any concerns about the moral injury of Marines who are now being tasked to face Americans and deploy their community in an unprecedented way? And what are you doing to address those mental health concerns?
Senator, Marines will execute their lawful orders. I don't have any concerns that about their moral damage. They're executing lawful orders that they're trained to do. They're completely confident and they're capable of conducting protection of federal personnel and federal property.
I have no question on their ability to do their jobs. They're Marines, after all. My concern is the psychological injury to Marines who are going to be told to turn on their fellow Americans. We know, and would you agree that there can be hidden injuries such as mental health injuries to Marines, whether they're at war? I mean, when you go to war, would you agree that there are hidden injuries that can happen, such as psychological injuries?
There are psychological injuries when one goes to war, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Are you concerned that there might be psychological injuries to the Marines who are being told to turn on American citizens during this deployment?
Well, Senator, I would say that these Marines are not being told to turn on their fellow citizens. They're conducting federal property protection.
So you have no concern that there might be Marines that are having a psychological negative reaction to being put on. I'm not saying that they can't do their jobs. I'm saying you have no concerns and you're not preparing for any mental health counseling as a result of this deployment for these 700 Marines.
Senator, we always have mental health counseling available to Marines at all times for any purpose, but I don't have any heightened concerns about this.
Okay. Well, active duty troops are trained for war fighting and not policing. We ask a lot of different, very difficult things of our troops, taxing their mental health. And now we're sending them to turn on their own communities outside of their normal training. I would be concerned for the well-being of our heroes. I want to switch my line of questioning to SeaLift and leveraging our international partners. There's a reason that our system is supposed to prevent the use of our military on our soil, except for the most necessary circumstances. Ideally, in coordination with local elected leaders, the alternative is un-American. From my perch on this committee and the Commerce Committee, changing topics a little bit, I am concerned about our military and commercial maritime capacity. I appreciate the leadership of many of my colleagues on this issue, and I strongly support ongoing efforts to expand our domestic shipbuilding industrial base. Even with this renewed emphasis on domestic shipbuilding, especially of commercial vessels or big-ticket military ships, I remain concerned that we are underinvesting in a critical element of any future fight, SeaLift. It will not matter how many submarines or destroyers we can build if equipment, fuel, and resupply cannot make it to theater. And if our troops don't have enough ships to ferry each other and their resupply from place to place within the theater, and this is especially important for the Marines to have amphibious and local resources, I'd like to ask all of our witnesses, do you agree that we lack the necessary number of SeaLift or auxiliary vessels to meet the logistical demands of a contested environment in the Indo-Pacific? Admiral, I'd like to start with you, and everybody on the panel, please respond.
I think we can do better there, ma'am. I'm not sure I would say we lack. I do think we've pursued a buy-used philosophy, and those used ships, at least the initial ones, took a lot more work to get them serviceable. The latest ones have been better, but I think a buy new and used philosophy is probably prudent going forward.
Do you think we could benefit from partnering with friendly foreign nations on co-production and co-sustainment of auxiliary vessels, from cargo ships to small supply boats to cable repair ships, et cetera, to build surge production and maintenance capacity within the theater?
I do, Senator, and I also think there's opportunities to bring that work into the United States.
Yeah, I think there's opportunity for both Mr. Secretary?
I concur with the Admiral. I don't have really much to add to what he said.
What currently prevents the Navy from developing or scaling foreign partnerships to build or maintain our auxiliary vessels, Mr. Secretary?
Senator, look, I think there are a couple of different issues we have to tackle when it comes to those. But I think it's, as I said in my testimony during confirmation, all options are on the table, and we do need to look at this, and we do need to look at both having foreign builders build some ships like this for us, and also, obviously, they're coming here and looking at investing in our base and bringing their expertise. So I think that would be very useful to us.
Or even partnering with American builders, but overseas in theater to be able to provide immediate repair.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.